You can control your mind, but you can't control what other people do. That's the best one you can make is yourself. Before I used to always talk to you in the gym and you used to understand, and I didn't know what you meant. But now I'm starting to slowly but surely understand what you mean. Because you don't want to spend your life working on somebody's dream. Because that's what most of the people are doing. Constantly working, and spending all these hours. And some even do overtime. I'm doing I'm doing overtime all the time. I'm working 2 jobs.
You're doing 30 hours in 2 jobs.
You are who you surround yourself with.
You are who you hang around.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Alright, how you doing, world? This is Brick by Brick. I have my brother here with me, Jeandy. He's been speaking with me, and also Carlos. So thank you for joining my podcast. Thank you, Carlos, for speaking into me and trying to develop my mindset. So right now I'm in the process. So Brick by Brick is basically about self-development. So I took it upon myself to actually take risks. Like right now, being on the podcast live, I'm taking a risk right now because I'm not used to this or I don't do this. So I'm opening up myself for opportunities. And my goal is to be rich-minded, and I'm going to be as open as possible because I want the world to grow with me. That's my goal, to have people succeed in life and grow their mindset. And that's what Brick by Brick is all about. A lot of times when people think about a journey, people look at the goal. But I don't want people just to look at the goal. I want them to take it brick by brick. If you lay one brick, eventually when you look up, you'll see a brick wall. Like everything is a journey in life. Even this right here, these dreads, it's a journey. Everything is a journey in life. So I want people to look at that and not at the goal. Because people, when they look at goals, they often, they might not go after it. They might not go after their goals because they might be lazy. They might be lazy and they might feel pressured to the goal. So I want people to just take one brick at a time and eventually you'll get to that journey. So anything you want to say?
Yeah, for sure. Just brick by brick, but also now you're getting out of your comfort zone. You said you're taking a risk. In life, everything is a risk. Even when you don't do something, you're still risking. So it's about calculating risk and just, like how you say, brick by brick, laying the foundation, but also working at it every day. But every day you don't put a brick, that's a missing piece. Like today, when, I didn't mean to bring it up, but you had told me about it, about how your supervisor was on you, and you ain't like that, but you're working on somebody else's dream. So now you're working on your dream, and also communication is a great skill to have, especially today in the world. And now you're forming through the communication value. You're creating value through communication. So any experiences that you would like to share to the world and why you chose Brick by Brick?
Well, yeah, I chose Brick by Brick because, like I said before, if you lay a brick, you can build the wall. I want people to be overwhelmed with the goal. So just consistently actually do the work, because we need to do work. We need to do the work to continue to proceed in life. Like a wise man, Carlos once said, you have to fall in love with the process. People just want to go straight to the goal. You have to fall in love with the process while building progress. So that's what I wanted to focus on. And before you're building bricks, you have to have a foundation. When you're building a brick wall, or if somebody building a house, they have to dig and then they have to build the foundation. And my foundation is God. So God, I'm praying on God to give me the wisdom to lead people and to lead myself. I see work on my self-development. So when you have a God as a strong foundation, you can't go wrong. It's a scripture that comes to my head, Matthew 7:24, verse 26. And it talks about if you do what God says, and you hear what he says and do what he says, that you'll be like a wise man. And then it goes on to say, like a wise man who built himself on a rock. It says, rain fell, wind came, and floods came, but he wasn't shaken. So that's why when you have the foundation of God on you, God's your strong foundation, you can't be shaken. And I also wanted to add that the foundation of God, you continue to you have confidence in yourself. Like, as I said before, like I have confidence in myself beyond this podcast. I'm just putting myself and I'm opening up myself to the world.
1,000%. You had texted a message. It was like a paragraph kind of, a group chat with me and Carlos. And then all I replied was, we need you as well. You said the world needs us, but the world needs you at your best. And it's so crazy because today we was in the front of the office and I told Carlos, I don't agree with that quote of John D. Rockefeller. He said the next thing to doing the right thing is letting people know you're doing the right thing. Which to me, that reminds me of a verse in Corinthians where it says, therefore, I do not run like somebody running aimlessly. I do not fight like a boxer beating the air. I strike a blow to my body and make it my slave. So after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified for the prize. Which to me, that reminded me of, I'm not saying leave your job, but kind of saying it. Because health is the most important thing. And when you're working on a job, you're working on somebody else's dream. But when you work on these 5 pillars, that's you investing on yourself, bro. And that's brick by brick. You got to treat every day like day one. So every day is not sunshine and rainbows, but it is. If you protect that, like, there's no such thing as bad days, how I see the world. Because everything is a blessing in itself. There's a saying that God breaks you down into pieces before he molds you into a statue.
I also wanted to add about me doing this podcast. I was motivated to do the podcast by Jeandy and coaches, Carlos, but I don't really like motivation because I see motivation as like a flame and I see discipline as like a light bulb.
Hey world, Shamar Fields here, Brick by Brick. My goal is to take that one brick and continue to build on that brick to make a brick wall. We're here to impact people. We're here to transform people. We're here to uplift people. So I thank you for continuing watching. I pray that you guys get impactful by my message and my journey.
A flame, you need to feed it. You need to constantly feed the motivation. A light bulb, you turn it on and it stays. It gives you light. So that's why discipline beats motivation. So I'm going to use the motivation, yes, but I want to turn that motivation into discipline so I can continue being consistent and working myself and working on the podcast. And eventually I would attract the right people who's open and as well as I am.
So you want to know the best way to attract the right people?
How?
You becoming that person. Once you become that person, it's not a coincidence that after all this time, it's now we're connecting on a deeper level. Now we could say we're business partners as well, but it's because you entered a different state of mind. But there's always room to improve. So brick by brick, you work that spiritual pillar. That's a brick there. You put a brick on your mental. The more you learn, the more you earn. That's another brick. Physical, health is the ultimate wealth. Every day is a gym. You have to prioritize that. How do you feel when you go to the gym?
Feel great. I'm putting my body through pain, but that pain, it makes me stronger. And I feel like that's how life works. You have to go through pain to be strong. And also, when I talk about the foundation, I feel like it's a brick wall that everyone needs. And I feel like brick number 1 is willpower, and brick number 2 is knowledge, and the third brick is action. And I like to call that the brick wall of being active in life. So you use those brick walls. My main picture for Brick by Brick is to have that brick wall create other brick walls mentally in your head so you can be strong and not be shaken.
Correct. And that's where it comes with the 5 pillars. Once you have those 5 pillars under control, your life is under control. That's why you picked the book Mind Management, not Time Management. So now question to you, Morris, why haven't you been going to the gym every day?
Well, we speak on time management. I haven't been going. I started going to the gym and I felt great by myself, and I started to develop my mindset and develop my body. I was skinnier than this, believe it or not, but I still have work to do, obviously.
So do I.
But I feel stronger, and I know that I'm stronger than when I look. But the reason why I haven't been going to the gym is because now I'm currently working 2 jobs, and the jobs stop me from being able to go to the gym, which I'm not happy about. I put my focus on chasing after money, But now I'm starting to learn that that's not the way. I still have to change my mindset more because it's going to take a while to change that mindset because that's what I grew up with in school and parents was to chase the money, go to school, get a good education. And I also been looking into this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, which teaches the opposite. I wish I had the book here, but I don't. But Rich Dad Poor Dad, it teaches how people continually chase out the money, and it's different sets of people. Also, it's also 4 quadrants that I learned about: the employee, the investor, businessman, and small business owner. It's not an owner. It's not an order, but I'm learning different things and slowly changing my mindset. And I pray that it don't fall on like shallow ground. So
Amen.
I just pray that the seed that these guys are planting in me, that it will actually grow. You know, you have to have the seed and it has to water it. So I just pray that I just grow and continue to blossom and not only grow myself, but and grow in others. And I could share the knowledge that they have given me. So that's why I'm here today.
Amen. It's also that seed that you planted, also planted in other areas, the farmer's method. It's not here, but networking like a pro is also farming, planting seeds all over. The same seeds that helped you grow, put it in other areas. Because if it growed in you, it could grow in others. Same way it grew with you. At first, it just started us chopping it up. Me also investing in you, because I look at everything as an investment. Just chopping it up with you, and I asked you, are you ready to invest in yourself? And you said, yeah. Why do you feel like you were ready to invest in yourself?
I felt like I was growing mentally, and I was tired of working these 2 jobs. Like today, I told you, I'm off today, and I did not want to work. I did not want to worry about working because I'm trying to change my mindset into being a business owner and stop having people tell me what to do. But my supervisor today had texted me. She had called me at first. And the one thing about jobs, the jobs I've been around is multiple bosses. And that's one thing I did. Like, I want to be my own boss. So she had called me and I didn't answer because I don't want to talk about work. So then she texted me to give her a call when I get a chance. But I was on my way here. So I text her that what does this pertain to? That I'm not available right now, so she could text me. She started questioning me. Oh, why can't you answer the phone? And she started talking about work stuff. So then I told her that I'm off. And then she said, oh, she started apologizing and stuff like that. But my thing to say is I did not want to deal with that. I don't want to, especially when I'm off of work, I don't want to work on like a business. I don't want to like work for people's dream, like you say.
But you are working for the business. You're the business now. Now you're creating value through the communication stage, where the more you learn, the more you earn. It's literally a fact because the more knowledge you pertain, the more you could give out. Same way I helped you become a business owner, there's probably people that you know or that are in your network that you can help become a business owner as long as they have the right mindset. Like you said, you wanted to talk about the 12 laws of riches. It's so crazy because every day we learn something new. That's why we have to put in the time and the work. Work hard in silence and let success be your noise. You can lie to me, but you can't. You were talking to me yesterday about integrity.
Yeah. It's crazy that you say
Hey, Ro, I'm here with my brother Mars. He's going to start training me basketball. If you guys need a coach, basketball trainer, just hit him up. Mar Hoops.
Yeah, you can find me in Mar Investments. We're here trying to get 1% better. We all have love for the game, so I'm here to pay it forward and pay my time and my knowledge. So what do you need? You need help with your layups, I see. Do you agree?
I need help with my layups. Just follow him. Mar Hoops, Mar Investment. Contact him when you need basketball help, training. Thank you.
About lying because I wrote down something today, actually. I'm just going to pull it up real quick. There's things that my mindset started to change, so now I'm starting to like jot down like my thoughts of what I hear.
Best thing
And
you
I
can
wrote
do.
down, you can lie with your words, but your energy will always tell the truth. And I believe I heard Carlos say that. So yeah, like that's definitely true. Like, you could lie and say that you're great, but your energy is always going to tell the truth. And like what you carry or your aura, that's always going to tell the truth no matter what. So that's why I always try to stay truthful. But I have reading the book, well, not reading, but I listened to the book. What's the book? The Positive Thinking.
The power of positive thinking.
The power of positive thinking. So I have the problem like telling the difference from me positive thinking and telling the truth, because you always want to have positive thinking.
Yeah.
But what if like your positive thinking is not lining up with your situation? Like I know like you look by faith and not by sight and things of that nature. But in your opinion, it's like that line, or what is that to you? Like,
can you give me an example?
All right, so say I probably lost a family member, or I'm going through a toughest time, but my positive thinking is I'm doing great. Say I'm broke or something like that, and I say that I'm rich. So what do you think? Is that like lying, or is that positive thinking? Or that's looking by faith and not by sight?
Yeah, we said a wise man. Carlos always says a future truth. So it's like, it could be a current lie, but it's a future truth. But yet again, you got to be realistic. Like, I always tell myself that I know I'm on the right track. I know I'm doing the right things. So I know I'm going to get what I want, because you have to put in the work. So it's a future truth as long as you're happy. Or are you happy? Today's episode, you should watch that More Podcast Network. Well, are you happy, bro?
Happiness, I can say I have joy, but I'm not totally happy because I don't have all the areas of my life where I wanted at. Like,
what are some areas that you feel that?
What are the 5 pillars? Like, spiritually, I want to get stronger connection with God. And when you have a strong connection with God, you'll have like more joy in Jesus. Like, you have joy. So like whatever, like, it's a scripture I was also looking at today. It's actually
the scripture today?
Yeah, scripture today.
James.
Yeah, and it tells you to have joy, like when trials and tribulations come. So that's why I want to continue to build my spirituality with God and mental. I'm not happy mentally because I know I could gain more knowledge. Growing up, I was just focused on mostly basketball and whatever's in front of me. I was always focused on pleasure and having fun. So now, like, I'm growing. I'm a grown man. I'm growing. Just because I'm a grown man don't mean that you're growing, because growing has something to do with the mindset. Everything is mindset. Everything is spiritual. It's a whole spiritual realm that it's not in the physical. So what happens in the spiritual realm comes to the physical realm. So spiritually, mentally, physically, I'm not happy because I know my body could be better than this. The reason I really started going to the gym is something that happened to me that had caused pain, and I just probably that's how you learn from pain.
Of course.
So I just constantly started going to the gym consistently, but now it's a setback. Now that I'm having these 2 jobs, that I don't have time to go to the gym. Emotionally, I can say emotionally, I can control my emotions. Well, one emotion that I do struggle with is like lust, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like I need to control that. That's a battle that I'm facing now, but I feel like I'm on top now. I guess like being around you guys, I don't know how, because I've been struggling with this for like years, but you guys just have like that spirit on you that it makes me feel big, you know?
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate you and Carlos. So just your spirit alone, I just feel like I could overcome like anything, and we could do it together as a team.
Of course.
So I went over spiritual, mental, physical, emotional, and then financial. That's what I'm working on. Well, that's the last, but I need to work on that as well to be happy, because obviously I want financial freedom, but I'm not going to get that working jobs, as you guys said. So I need to figure out how to grow my business.
You said 3 key things that caught my eye. First, you said about pleasure. Business first, pleasure second. If you take care of business, business will take care of you. But you got to take care of business. What's business? Serving. Now you're in the communication. But you can't communicate if you don't educate yourself. You got to take time for personal development. That's why the golden hour. I told you the calendar, vision board. I told you share your calendar with me, an hour. You talked with Carlos on a podcast. I'm gonna use this for the physical. Yesterday you said you worked 80 hours per week, which we spoke on the phone too. I told you. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. That's what you say it all the time. But it's true because there's 168 hours in a week. How much is half of 168?
That's 140. No. 168, right?
Yeah.
84.
Okay, 84. And you're working 80 hours. That's almost half of your week gone just on a job. Not commuting, none of that. So understandably, not only I use like.
Hey world, Shamar Fields here, Brick by Brick. My goal is to take that one brick and continue to build on that brick to make a brick wall. We're here to impact people. We're here to transform people. We're here to uplift people. So I thank you for continuing watching. I pray that you guys get impactful about my message and my journey.
Using you as an example as well, because there's probably other brothers of ours in the world going through that, which we now can help, including you, because you're now a business owner. You're taking 80 hours. Imagine if you were to take 50 hours. Forget about the 30. 30, let's say you do whatever. You still want to keep that 9 to 5, but have the 5 to 9. Let's say you take 50 hours of those 80s and working on your dreams instead of working on somebody else's dreams. And you brick by brick. You're putting a brick on it every day. There's just going to be days you got 3 bricks. Some days you got 2, 5. But it's how hard you work. How smart you work.
Yeah, gotta invest in myself. I posted that today on my story that the best investment you can make is in yourself. I mean, before I used to always like talk to you in the gym, and you used to always say that, and I didn't know like what you meant. But now I'm starting to slowly but surely understand what you mean, because you don't want to in your life working on somebody's dream, because that's what like most of the people are doing. They're constantly working, and spending all these hours, and some even do overtime. I'm doing like I'm doing overtime because I'm working 2 jobs.
You're doing 40 hours on 2 jobs.
Yeah.
Like for example, you said you started going to the gym because of fuel of a situation that happened to you. So that's life. Like I can remember working construction. How I said I used to work with my dad. He's like a foreman, but I also worked with a supervisor. And he commuted. He treated me good and everything. Because I was a hard working. I always been a good employee, just a good human being. Always been positive. But then there's some situations we bumped heads. Because I always speak the truth. I'm going to be me no matter what. I refuse to act fake, act phony, this and that. I got to be me, bro. Like energy don't lie. If something's off, you could tell. And vice versa. Because energy is all sensible to humans. But that was enough for me to say, the supervisor used to offer me a position to be a boss, like a foreman. The same thing as my dad. I was like, you crazy, bro. I would become a foreman if I didn't love my life. And I knew I wanted more for myself. So that was enough fuel for me to say, nah, I'm going to leave this. But I was already in business with Carlos. But my mindset wasn't there yet. You asked me how I knew when it was time for me to leave my job. The signs. God gives us signs, but sometimes we ignore him. When we close the door to negative thoughts, the door of opportunity opens up to us.
But was it the struggles of your job that like was some of the signs that you needed to leave?
Of course. I didn't have time to, first of all, I was messed up internally. I didn't take time to know myself. Mentally, I didn't read. What person working construction from 6 to 7 in the night, 13 hours a day, who's going to want to, all you want to do is go home, eat, sleep. You don't have time. Your energy is gone. You already wasted your energy on meaningless stuff, helping somebody else. They don't even care about you. Physical, I didn't have time to go to the gym. I sent you the video of when me and Carlos got into business. He said the gym every day. But now I understand.
Yeah, you say you'll do it when you have time. And Carlos like, no, you gotta do it every day. Yeah.
Of course, we have time. We just don't take time for that. But that's why you have to prioritize every pillar. And I got closer to God. I will always say that testimonial. On my 21st birthday, especially us, I come from New York. Both our parents are Catholic, well, religious. And on my 21st birthday, most people go out celebrate. I went to church, bro. My birthday's on a Sunday. I'll never forget that day. And it was one I never told. This is a testimony only to the world, but to you, first hearing this. I was in church one time, like last year, and I told God, God, help me with my business. But the whole time I was the business. And I didn't even know that because I didn't have the clarity that I now have. Clarity is power. And as you move on with this journey, today's the introduction, you're going to get more clarity. But it's deciding, are you going to pick up that brick? You have two options when you wake up. To pick up a brick or to pick up water. How do you want to build your castle?
Mentira. But yeah, like, referring back to the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, what came to my mind while you was talking is how these 9-year-old boys wanted to make money, but they were getting paid 10 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was funny to me. And then, like, the dad in the book had so much wisdom because it basically, they said they wanted to make money, so he said, okay, I'm going to pay you 10 cents. And he basically let them work that until he got tired, and he was basically teaching them about life.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said that he's glad that they got angry about it, because if some people, he said the one person, they just go with it, and they accept it. Another person quit and try to find another job, and that's so true. Like, I'm still learning from Rich Dad Poor Dad. I still have a lot to learn. I still have a lot to read, but just that little bit of information in the book is like teaching me. Like, that's so crazy. And then, like, he had him wait after all that work and stuff. He wanted to ask for a raise. That's the third thing people do. They ask for raises, but he had to wait all that time while people was going by in and out the office, and it just angered him more. And then what's also a funny thing is after he wanted a raise, and then he wanted to be taught about money, he sent him back in the field and didn't pay him anything just for them to learn. So that's just like a crazy aspect of like life. And like in this life, you have to have a different way of thinking. That's why it's all about mindset and self-development. Everybody's thinking the same way, but everybody's in the same field, but in different fields, if that makes sense. Like, everybody's doing other things, but everybody's still chasing after one thing, which is money. So we have to think. That's another thing where I'm building my mindset, and I'm looking at YouTube videos, and everybody talk about God, and everybody's talking about thinking. So that's something that I have to implement in my life. I always have God, but I have to have a more spiritual connection with Him, and I also have to think for myself. And that's what being a business owner does for you. You have to think for yourself, but also you have a team around you who's going to support you.
Hey, Ro, I'm here with my brother Mars. He's going to start training me basketball. If you guys need a coach, basketball trainer, just hit him up. Mar Hoops.
Yeah, you can find me in Mar Investments. We're here trying to get 1% better. We all have love for the game, so I'm here to pay it forward and pay my time and my knowledge. So what do you need? You need help with your layups, I see. Do you agree?
I need help with my layups. Just follow him. Mar Hoops, Mar Investment. Contact him when you need basketball help, training. Thank you.
There's a saying, thinking is one of the hardest skill sets. That's why so few people do it. Like I said, we could go and do public interviews, and that's going to help us. I say us because as a team, we need each other. We all need each other. This guy was talking about there's so many creations in the world that we didn't experience, nor did we create, nor did we know the person that created it. But now it's up to us to evolve and create better things. And we're here to create business opportunities for others. Pay it forward. With an introduction, you can't give something you don't have. Everything starts with knowledge, and then you apply it.
Yeah, that's why I said, like, in the beginning, that I want to, like, open myself, and I want to do the knowledge myself. But it's not only me that have to do the knowledge. The people who's watching me also has to gain their own knowledge, because, pastors, they could preach all day, but they have to, people have to do the work. A lot of people go to church, the pastors preach Sunday, Monday they're out there doing whatever, they forget the message, they go out their mind. That's because they're not implementing the knowledge that they just heard. There's another verse in the Bible that talks about seeds getting choked up or eaten up by birds. you're not watering your seed. Like when you hear a seed, you have to continue to strive after that knowledge. You can't just have it going one ear out the other. And that's what most people do in church. They just sit through a sermon and then they walk out those church doors and then they live in the same until like the next Sunday. And you're never going to grow like that. You have to constantly feed your mind, constantly feed your body, feed your 5 pillars. It's not just one thing and done. You have to constantly feed it. And that's what people have to do.
So now on your podcast, the introduction to Brick by Brick, what are some ways that you plan on investing yourself and building your castle with the bricks? How do you plan on laying them bricks?
Well, I plan on just sharing my knowledge, but breaking it down in a way that I know how to break it down, because that's going to attract the people who's watching me. Like, it's not going to attract everybody, but everybody's different. Like you said, everybody's journey is different. So I could use my experiences, my knowledge that I'm gaining, because I'm not a person who has it all. I'm not sitting here I'm not sitting here saying that I have it all figured out, but I'm willing. That's why I said the first brick to being active in life is the willpower. So I'm willing to do the work and better myself and my mind. And it has to do with reading books, constantly looking at YouTube videos, changing my circle. There's just so many things that has to do with mindset. So first I'm willing, and then I have to gain the knowledge like I just said, and then I have to do the action. So I'm going to constantly just keep working, and I'm going to be, my job right now, I have 2 jobs, but one of them is a summer job. But after that summer job is over, I can continue. I have more time to work on myself now, like time management. So I have more time working on myself, and eventually I want to get out of the other job. I've built my mindset. It's a mindset thing, self-development.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. Now, I had a question, but it left. But that's why it's also, the book of James is amazing, because it talks about the hypocrisy. So it's about, I can't sit here and talk about things that I'm not living. Why would I preach something that I'm not living? Gym every day, personal development, but also most importantly, leader creating leaders. You're now a leader, believe it or not, on and off the court, because on the court, as a leader, you have to stay competent. You can't get into emotions. If the leader falls, it affects the whole group.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And teamwork makes the dream work. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Yeah, I get what you say about being a leader, because there's times I feel like I'm a leader in LA Fitness, but a leader comes with like responsibility and like responsible for others. But I found it hard before, like controlling my emotions, because I used to always get mad when somebody do something I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
But now I realize, before I go into that, I'll give an example, like somebody like takes a bad shot or makes a bad pass, or just somebody who's like nervous or scared and just like fumbles the ball. I used to get mad, but I realized that I can't control what they do, but I could also just build them up. So, and that's in life. You can't control what people do, but you could control your mind. You can control how you act things. So I'm just learning so much from you guys, and I'm continuing to learn, not from only you guys, but from books and also wisdom from God. And I also trust the wisdom that God gave you guys to pour to me.
1,000%. And it's also trust. The best way to build trust is once you have a good connection with yourself and you trust yourself, and you understand that what others do to you, they're not doing it to yourself. They're doing it to you. The world is a mirror of us. People are a reflection of us. That's why when you say you could build them up, it's because you did it for yourself and you're doing it for yourself. You could build yourself up, but now you could do for others. Why destroy when you could empower? When you could build. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I also, what's in my mind right now is like doing this like podcast, things that I already know I have to work on the podcast and all the podcasts is, like you told me, that was my first podcast. first podcast was with you on your podcast, but that's not out yet. But the podcast with Carlos.
Hey world, Shamar Fields here, Brick by Brick. My goal is to take that one brick and continue to build on that brick to make a brick wall. We're here to impact people. We're here to transform people. We're here to uplift people. So I thank you for continuing watching. I pray that you guys get impactful by my message and my journey.
The first thing you told me is what you told me. You remember what you told me when I first walked up? You said I say like too much.
Oh yeah.
So that's me like working on my communication. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not somebody who has it all together. Like right now, I'm doing this podcast right now. I'm trying to work on not saying a lot because it doesn't sound like good. I know I said it a couple times already, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's all a work in progress. That's why I'm glad I just put myself in front of the camera, put myself in the fire, so I can just work through it.
And that's the best way to learn, just throwing yourself there. Like I always say, we all know the answers to our solutions. We all know the answers to our own questions, but sometimes we got to dig deep within ourselves to figure those out. Because where there's a will, there's a way. It's just about how strong is your why. So here on your introduction, I would like to ask you, what's your why? Like, why do you want to make a change in your life? Why? What's your why?
I want to make a change in my life because I just got tired of the same old thing, like discussing jobs again. Like, I started out, I thought I was being successful with my life because of the raises I was getting. I started out, when I first started working, I started at $11 an hour.
Sheesh.
Then it went to 13 and
what was that, $11 an hour?
I was working at Home Depot.
That had to be a throwback.
That's my first job.
Okay.
That was my first job. $11 an hour. I was working at Home Depot. Then they raised it to 13. And then I started again, 15, like another job. So my mindset was always build my pay. So I thought that was success. I'm like, I started here, now I'm up here, now I'm in the 20s. But my mindset was continue like, oh, I started from right here. I'm gonna keep elevating myself into getting more pay. But I was still in the same system. I was still an employee. So it's all about really your mindset and knowing my worth. I felt like I was getting to know my worth, like probably with females, but you have to know your worth in different areas of your life.
1,000%.
I don't know if I answered your question. What was your question again?
What's your why? So basically, you don't want to be an employee no more. Yeah. But that's enough fuel, believe it or not, to become a business owner. Because the left side is an employee and self-employed. Now you're a business owner, but you're also an investor as well. Where your business, this is the business right here, working on your communication skills. I see us, bro, to be honest, like I always envision myself, not always, but recently, like in the all-star celebrity game in the NBA. For real. Just getting buckets, diamond. Because not only are we influencers, but just it's so fulfilling, impacting lives and people saying you're an inspiration. So small. Because we still haven't gotten out with the podcast and stuff like that. But as you continue to grow, you see how everything around you changes.
Yeah.
Because elevation requires separation. So as soon as you start elevating and taking time to know yourself, taking time for yourself, slowly you're going to see like why people separated. It's not because you changed, but it is because you changed, but for the better. They're not willing to change. They're still in their comfort zone. And now you no longer fit into old circles because you're breaking out.
Yeah, that's why it's really important to change who your circle is or who's in your circle. But I always had a small circle, but it was one situation where it was two people in my circle. They did something grimy to me.
Yeah.
And they're out my circle now, or they were out my circle. And like now I look around like who do I have? I know I always have family, but family is also not everything. But you have to have yourself because family could do some big stuff to you as well. But I feel like if you're around like high vibrational people and people who's all on the same journey as you, that stuff really won't happen to you. So you are who you surround yourself with.
You are who you hang around.
Yeah.
1,000%. What's else on your mind on the introduction of the Brick by Brick podcast?
Yeah, I just wanted to, like I said before, like build multiple brick walls Yes, I'm again.
It's okay, bro.
Yeah.
It's a process. That's why
I'm working on myself. Yeah.
you're failing forward now. The point is so we could both look back at this video, because I'm also not even just coaching. That's coaching, but we're also business partners. So we can learn off each other, because I can learn off everybody. You're also 24. I'm 22. You're about to be 24. But that's where it is. The best time to start is now.
Yeah.
That's why it's day one or one day. Not in one day.
Yeah, that's his podcast. Shout out to his podcast.
Thank you, but it's also definitely day one. You treat every day like day one. Best believe when you look back, it'll be like, wow. If you put a brick every day, you'll be surprised how far you accomplished.
I also want to work on communication, not only here, but being able to speak to people, like not behind the camera. I feel like this is a brick right here, just working on that, just speaking through a camera and like with the light shining and everything. And me, I never thought I'll be on a podcast or even talking. The first public speaking I did was at a church when I preached a sermon when I was younger.
What sermon did you preach?
Oh, I remember. It's called "Don't Hit the Drip," and I had like scriptures and everything to line up with it. So that scripture, that podcast. I mean, not podcast, but that sermon was about courage. So I felt like I carried myself because I needed courage to do that, and I asked God and prayed to God, and God was on my side with that. And I thought I could never do that. So I'm constantly building and building and building myself. But it doesn't stop here. So after the camera here, I want to be able to communicate with people like outside the world, and not only communicate with people, I wanted my words to be powerful to them, so I could do what you guys are doing for me and change them as well and change their mindset.
But it's also not only changing your circle, but when you change, everything around you changes.
Hey, Ro, I'm here with my brother Mars. He's gonna start training me basketball. If you guys need a coach, basketball trainer, just hit him up. Mar Hoops.
Yeah, you can find me in Mar Investments. We're here trying to get 1% better. We all have love for the game, so I'm here to pay it forward and pay my time and my knowledge. So, what do you need? You need help with your layups, I see. Do you agree?
I need help with my layups. Just follow him. Mar Hoops, Mar Investment. Contact him when you need basketball help, training. Thank you.
You said communication, but also listening to positive things and audios, like the audios I be sending you and stuff like that. Once you apply those and once you learn that certain information, you're going to be able to give it back. Remember, you can't do for others what you can't do for yourself. You want to give something back, first do it for yourself or get somebody that done it, get a connection with him and help the person be that bridge from what they want to them having it.
Well, let me ask you a question. What's your goals for your podcast?
My goals for my podcast is to just branch out, be more diverse. As in, turn that one day into day one. But also people, like I have people that I went to an AAU camp one time, and some guy, the movie with Anthony Edwards, I forgot, and Adam Sandler. But it's just people that did it, because most people they think stuff happens overnight, and there's plenty of people in the world that accomplish their dreams, that done it and are living it. So just having those testimonies on the platform and showing them that it's possible, because for me it was never possible. I never had somebody that was like, damn, I could do it. I could do this.
So what breaks are you laying that you feel like you could say that like you actually like building the world that you of your goal, of your dream for your podcast?
What breaks in my lane? Just daily speaking to people, doing what I got to do, and most importantly, helping people become business owners, freeing people, giving them that knowledge. Because believe it or not, it's always we're at the. I feel like helping people that are stuck in their ways is so difficult. So it's now I don't have the platform, this and that. It's excuses, but it's not really. I don't want to talk about excuses, but it's just like me investing in myself, me being a living example, me as a leader, creating more leaders, passing that blessing on to others. That's the break I'm doing. But everything started with myself. If I did it for me, I could do it for others.
How far can you say that you grew?
I grew? Oof. Where can I start, bro? I grew. I used to be addicted to lust. I never in my life, like, I used to say I'm gonna go celibate. Like on the semen retention. My cousin used to always laugh at me because I would always go back to females, this and that. So my willpower grew. I don't chase, I attract. My inner world is now at peace. I could say I'm the best version I've ever been. And every day I'm gonna just continue to get better. I don't hate, I collaborate, I create, I also help people. Before I couldn't help people because I wasn't even helping myself.
Do you feel like, I was gonna say, like, do you feel like you was like a selfish person, or you just didn't have like the ability to help people?
I didn't have the ability to help people. How could I help others if I can't help myself?
Yeah.
I used to smoke, drink, so many things that I did in my past that I'm not proud of, nor am I even ready to speak about. But now I can share that testimony with others. There's people in the gym that they quit smoking bud. Somebody younger did it. And they see that I be at peace. I don't argue. Before I had my anger issues out of control. I don't even get angry no more. Why would I get angry? There's no reason to argue. So as I picked up books and I started reading, my mindset changed. So as my mindset changed, my whole life changed.
Did you turn to drinking and smoking? Like, what? Is it full of void for you, or?
Yeah, for the void.
Okay.
And that's also, I feel like that marked a spot in my life so crazy because that got me accustomed to change. Moving from New York to New Jersey, it's not that big of a change, but it is. New York is literally the hood, bro. When I moved to the burbs, I was out here trapped. You don't have a car, you can't go nowhere. So that was like, I didn't adapt to that change as I should have. But it was just a lesson.
Were you running for something, or it's just like that put you like in your comfort zone?
I didn't want to face it. I didn't want to face the fact that I was never going to New York. I was so angry that I moved at my parents that I took it out and I was only hurting myself. But it's great because I adjusted to that change now, so I feel like I could adapt to anything.
Why were you so angry? Because it was new to you?
Imagine, there was middle school, 8th grade after I graduated. I moved over here. I didn't spend my summer with my friends. I always played in leagues in the park. So it was like, I felt that's life too. You can never say everything is happening against me. Everything happens for you. So when the obstacle comes and you're trying to build that brick, just go and do it. Find a way. When there's a will, there's a way. By any means, make it happen.
I said before, as I was reading books and looking at YouTube, running myself around positivity, I write stuff down. So what you just said, I'm going to read what I wrote down.
Okay.
It says, I got this from Rich Dad Poor Dad. It says, stop blaming people for things. If you think they are the problem, then you have to change them. If you realize you are the problem, then you can change yourself. Learn something and grow wiser. Most people want everyone in the world to change but themselves. It's easier to change yourself than everyone else.
1,000%. What did you get from that?
Like I said before about your mind, you can control your mind, but you can't control what other people do. Like I used the basketball reference. Like I can't control if someone throw a bad shot or miss a layup. Like the guy that we was playing with, our teammate. You gave him a good pass, he missed a layup. I gave him a good pass, I missed a layup.
It happens though.
Hey world, Shamar Fields here, Brick by Brick. My goal is to take that one brick and continue to build on that brick to make a brick wall. We're here to impact people. We're here to transform people. We're here to uplift people. So I thank you for continuing watching. I pray that you guys get impactful by my message and my journey.
And usually I would get mad over that because I'm a competitive person. But I went up to him while we was playing the game. And when he was going back on defense, I'm like, you got to make that layup. I'm trying to give him motivation, but I don't like motivation. Like I said before, you got to turn that to discipline. But that's all no. Like you were speaking to me, trying to change my mindset, but it's up to me to receive from you. Like some people, like even when it comes to God, some people may lay a seed, but some other people may have to water it. Maybe the same person can't water it. People has different knowledge and a different thing about yourself, different journey. So you have to just take the course. It's really up to the person to take the risk like I did or just take action. If that makes sense.
Of course, and there's always accountability. Once you realize that life is 100% your responsibility, your life is going to change because everything is up to it. Everything is up to me in my life, and everything is up to you in your life. And once you, like Jim Rohn says, I'm willing to work on me for you if you're willing to work on, I'll take care of me for you if you'll take care of you for me. That's the best way a relationship will work. Because then when we collide and we team up, we're unstoppable. And you said also, basically now you seek to understand before you would judge. You would get mad at the person, but now you understand and try to empower him. And that's one of the habits of highly effective people.
Mm. Yeah, I just try to be positive now. Like, I don't want to bring any negativity. Now that my circle is changing, I'm also trying to be positive. Like, when I first met Carlos, he was always a positive and seemed like a happy person. I say he seemed like a happy person because the podcast today, he said he wasn't happy. And I'm saying I'm learning more of like why like he's not happy. But I'll say that he's probably not happy, but he's joyful. If that makes sense. Like, he just carries himself with so much light, I can say. So that was also like motivating to me. Just always seeing. He said today on the podcast, I don't know the exact words, but I think he said he treats everybody like a celebrity.
Yeah, treat everybody like the most important person in the world.
Yeah, he treats everybody the most, and I see that. So when he says on this podcast, he has integrity. Like, he's showing, like, when he speaks on his podcast, I could say that I saw it. You know, because that's all he does in Jeandy. He talks to everybody, and he's a light. And some people may not receive that. Some people, I feel like the only people who don't receive that is people with negative energy, because he has positive energy. So the positive energy, when negative energy sees it, they probably like retract from it. And I guess that's why he does it. Like, he also said something about where his 10 people in a room is one bad apple. He wants to take that apple out. I'm summarizing. But yeah, so constantly listening and learning. And it's like the book, like, Shut Up and Listen. That's what I'm doing. A lot of times, like, when there's people with so much knowledge, I'm not quick to talk. Like the Bible says, you know that scripture?
My dear brothers and sisters, be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that our Father desires.
Exactly. So I'm just slow. I'm quick to listen. I'm slow to speak, because that's where you find that you learn and you find wisdom. You can't listen if you're constantly like talking. Like, even in an argument, some arguments don't never get settled because they're screaming at each other. And I don't ever want to really get in an argument, because I feel like arguments is really not worth it. I feel like if we can't talk to each other and it's coming to a screaming match, then we shouldn't even be like, it's going to keep butting heads.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like just talk stuff out. Like, all positivity. I don't want any negativity. I grew up with negativity. Like, I just want this to stay positive and continue my positive thinking, continue to grow my mind. I'm just on a whole another journey, and this platform has also helped me. I'm just continue to try to build, and I want to bring others with me so they can build as well. Because I never had this way of thinking, and I already know that it's only up from here, and I'm going to continue to grow in my thinking.
Amen, amen. I can see that as well. And it's also not confusing negativity with speaking the truth. Most people, when you speak the truth, it may rub them the wrong way. It may rub them the wrong way. So if I ever tell you the truth because I see a flaw or something, just take it as constructive criticism. I don't ever want to destroy you, him, or nobody in this world. I just want to speak the truth, because it may be a flaw that I see that if you fix that, it could add to your life. You become a whole different man. In order to get where you want to go, you have to become a person you never became. And that's what it is. You ask me, what did I see what change have I made in my life, or where do I see myself now? I'm a person that I've never been. And I'm only getting better, because that's a promise I made to myself, that I'm going to give it my all. And it's so crazy that the devil attempts you with things that you think are good.
Mm.
That's the only way he's gonna get in. That's why it says, think big and don't listen to people who tell you it can't be done. He'll send you your loved ones, your mom, your dad, saying you can't do that because that's, or it's anybody you love, because those are limitations they have, and he's using a loved one to not make it happen, to get in your brain.
Yeah. And another thing, like when it comes to like the devil, people often like focus on the devil, but you really have to like, your enemy is the flesh. You have to continue like fighting your flesh, because in your flesh you'll find like temptation, or you fall into lust, or even self-development. Your flesh, like sometimes it's good to go on a fast. Like you say you're fasting from Instagram right now, social media, and I do that as well to clear my mind. Sometimes you can fast from food. All that builds your spirit and puts your focus in place. So your flesh could also cause like laziness. Like your flesh wants to do what he wants to do. So that's the main fight we have to focus on, is fighting our flesh.
Hey, Ro, I'm here with my brother Mars. He's gonna start training me basketball. If you guys need a coach, basketball trainer, just hit him up. Mar Hoops.
Yeah, you can find me in Mar Investments. We're here trying to get 1% better. We all have love for the game, so I'm here to pay it forward and pay my time and my knowledge. So what do you need? You need help with your layups, I see. Do you agree?
I need help with my layups. Just follow him. Mar Hoops, Mar Investment. Contact him when you need basketball help, training. Thank you.
Because when we fight our flesh and we continue winning these battles, we're going to continue to grow from it.
And now, back to Brick by Brick. Since almost coming to an end, I would like to ask you, what are your goals for this month when it comes to just you more as an individual?
This month, I want to focus on consistency. And that's going to be hard. And I want it to be hard because I'm working 2 jobs right now. But I want to focus on consistency and putting out content. And I want to say to reach out to people. That might be a stretch, but I want the challenge to come on. Like, I like challenges. So I want to first be consistent, bring people along the podcast. Even if it has to be just you and Carlos. Eventually, I want to get different people. But my main goal right now is to have that consistency and discipline. Because like now, I told you the motivation is like the flame.
Yeah.
I have the motivation, and like the motivation is a spark. But now I want to turn that motivation into discipline, and I want to continue the road to something greater and continue learning from you guys and learning what this journey is going to be like.
You say you like challenges. I told you, before we got here, I told you for the calendar and share. Did you do the calendar?
I didn't do the calendar yet.
Some challenges I have for you. Golden hour, reading an hour per day, gym every day. I don't know how he's gonna do it. There's some things I have to do that when your why is strong, the how is easy. And I've learned that as I continue to go, because my why personally is when I went to work with my dad, I seen that wasn't the life that I wanted to live. He already did enough of his life, just giving me a good life. Just raising me was good enough. Now I have to give something back to his life. You know? Yeah. Bring something to his table, because we're all a table. I see you as a table. I see him as I see every individual as a table. And there's, how am I serving? What value am I bringing them? There's 4 levels of value creation. Implementation. If you want to stay there, that's up to you, bro. I don't want to see you there. You're not maximizing your potential. You're not becoming the man you have to become to do the things you want to do. Unification. Managers, stuff like that. You saw your supervisor hit you up. There's a boss above her. There's a boss above her. Then communication. We're communicating right now. We go to communicate outside of this, networking events. We could go to networking events, even to private runs, stuff like that. Most of these basketball players don't have education, self-education, period. They don't take time to educate themselves. Then fourth, imagination. God created the world in 6 days and rested on the 7th. Everything was once an idea, but an idea is just a dream without execution. So we have to act on the ideas we have and make it a reality.
You said a golden hour. That's reading. That's reading.
Yeah, 1 hour.
All right. But yeah, I'll say on the podcast right now that I accept your challenge. Working 2 jobs is definitely hard with like going to the gym and everything, because like I try to sleep in between the hours. But you said today I don't know if you said on the phone, I think you said sleep when you're dead. But
You know, I said rest when you're dead.
yeah, rest when you're dead. But I know that, as in the Bible said, that I find rest in Jesus. So I know like God's gonna get me through it, and but I'll go to the gym. I was pushing the gym off for after the summer, because like I know I'll have time. My regular time is when I usually how I met you guys. Well, I didn't meet you guys during that time, but we built a relationship with me actually going to the gym early, like some people don't do. I actually started going to the gym early to get my gym seriously. I never did that before. So I'll accept the challenge, and I'll find some time. You said the gym, golden hour, and what else you said?
Do your calendar and the vision board. I told you the vision board as well yesterday. And it's also, I'm going to leave you with this question that I myself have to remind myself daily as well. That if today was your last day on earth, what would you do? Would you be happy with what you did today?
Oh, today? I would say I'll be happy because I'm taking the steps now to improve myself. Well, I wanted to be my last day, obviously not, because I feel like I have more to give the world. Like Carlos said, and I also heard it before, that the grave is like the richest part. And it's because before I didn't really have goals, like at the college that I spoke on Carlos' podcast, I didn't really have goals because my goals was just basketball. That's all I grew up around. And to be honest, basketball wasn't all that good to me because my parents focused on education. So my peers, they all had the AAU, they had all the coaches, they had all the training. I had none of that. I had to work myself to get the skill level I'm at now. I probably only went to one AAU, and the AAU I went to was my dad's friend, and we only played 2 games, and it was one day we played 2 games, and I ain't never hear from him again. So when I had the AAU, I'm like, oh yeah, it's finally it, and then that happened. So I never had nothing all my peers had. I always had to work by myself, and I like it that way. But I also feel like I probably could have made it further with the push from other coaches and everything, and just them instilling me and showing me other stuff. But I like this purpose better, helping others instead of like trying to be an NBA player and like worry about myself. Because if I'm an NBA player, I probably won't even read no books or anything. I just focus on playing basketball and getting money. But I definitely like this purpose better. I just feel like it suits me and it works on me. So I'm just excited for this journey. And I appreciate you and Carlos for helping me along this journey.
But you also did have some things they had.
What?
You had life. Yeah, both wanted to go. It's just how bad you want it. If you quit, you're 1 win away from what you want. Don't quit. Quitters never win and winners never quit. Anything you would like to say before wrap this up?
I'm just I feel like one of the most important things that I would like to work on is gratitude for like the little things. I feel like a big thing is gratitude, and I feel like other people should also work on that, because it's gratitude that you also build and want to see others win as well. Like I'm here because somebody else wanted to see me win, and I also want to see others win. So I pray that people follow this journey that I'm taking, and that I'm taking a step forward right now. So I hope you guys come along for a ride. This is Brick by Brick. Thank you for watching this podcast. Thank you guys for instilling in me, and also thank you for being on this podcast, and thank God for allowing everything that's happening right now.
Amen. Thank you.